Hopefully, you're already seeing potential for how Slack might make your academic life simpler, more pleasant, and more productive. Next, we'll explore how to find and start conversations that matter most to you. For the best experience, consider following along and practicing in Slack as I demo features to help you get value right away.
Let's first talk about how conversations are organized. The UCLA grid consists of many workspaces, some for different schools, divisions, and departments. There's also a UCLA community workspace that everyone belongs to. Each workspace has a different collection of channels and team members. If you're accessing Slack through the desktop application and belong to multiple workspaces, you can move between them by clicking the square icons on the far left. If you're accessing Slack through a browser, you can only see one workspace at a time per browser tab.
Let's take a look at some of the other workspaces you'll find on the grid. Everyone at UCLA is automatically assigned to the UCLA Community Workspace. While the expectation is that most users will only belong to one additional workspace, if you want or need to join others, you can. We've covered that workspaces are where channels live, and that a channel is where most of your collaboration takes place. In addition to channels in a workspace, you also have direct messages or DMs, generally used for private or ad hoc conversations that are not necessarily relevant to a broader audience, like a quick note that you're running late for class or a meeting. Keep in mind that most conversations should happen in channels most of the time to allow others to benefit from information and context. It's this rapid access to context that allows you to move work forward faster.
Let's zoom in on the grid and see how channels are used across workspaces to open up collaboration across different teams. UCLA announcements and Slack help are examples of org-wide channels. They span the entire grid. Anderson Announce is a multi-workspace channel. It lives in both the UCLA Community and UCLA Anderson workspaces. The remaining channels are single workspace channels, since they are only accessible in one workspace. Notice the lock symbol for the SAG team channel, indicating that it is a private channel. Also, notice how channel names help you identify their purpose at a glance. The grid also makes it possible to send DMs or direct messages to anyone at UCLA who uses Slack, no matter what workspace they're in.
Here are some suggestions for creating channel names that keep them consistent and easy to find. Next, we'll take a look around a demo environment and practice how to find and start meaningful conversations. Welcome to the demo environment. Right now, I'm in the global workspace. As you can see, along the left-hand side, I belong to a number of workspaces. Because I'm using the desktop app, I can switch between them quickly and easily by clicking the appropriate icon. Each workspace has its own collection of channels and team members. To the right is my sidebar, where the channels and DMs we've been discussing live. For this demo, let's imagine I've been assigned to a new project called Echo, and I'm doing some research to get up to speed. The first thing I'll do is search for the project. I can go to the search bar at the top, or use the keyboard shortcut Command-K on a Mac or Control-K on a PC. I'll type in Echo and see what results are returned. Lots of matches, great. Let's start with Project Echo Team. The first thing to note is because this channel is public, I'm able to find it and view history for the project, even without joining. I'm noticing a project kickoff and a project timeline, so it looks like I'm in the right place. I'll join the channel. A few other things worthy of note here are the member list, where you can see who's already part of the channel, and that you can add new team members to keep others in the loop. You can also view pinned items that typically most people will want to refer back to throughout the project. If this were a channel for a course, you might see a code of conduct, a syllabus, or a reading list pinned to channel. If there's something you want to have quick access to, you can save it and it shows up in your saved items.
To create a channel, in the sidebar, click the Add Channels Plus icon and select Create a Channel. Provide a name for your channel and a description. For example, in the name field, I'll enter CXL-project-Kuma, and in the description, I'll enter a public collaboration channel for the UCLA Kuma project. Decide if you want your channel to be public or private. In this example, we'll leave the slider alone and make it public. Click Create. You will then be prompted to add people to your channel. Type in the name of a person and click Add. Your channel is now ready to use. If at any time you want to add additional people to the channel, click on the Add People icon at the top right. Type in the name of a person and click Add. There are now 3 members in this group.
If you're ever wondering where to communicate, a good rule of thumb is channels over DMs, and our research at Slack backs this up. About 80% of conversations that we're having in the context of work have some future value. By using channels, you dramatically increase Slack's usefulness by building a knowledge repository that unlocks the power of Slack. Remember, when it comes to communicating in channels, you have 2 options. Public channels, which are visible to anyone on your workspace, available for anyone to find and join, and where most of your collaboration will likely happen. Or private channels, which are only visible to members of the private channel and only accessible if you're invited. Take a moment to review the key takeaways.